What's up, gang?
Hello.
Hey. So we got a special guest here. So earlier in the year, you heard that one of my New Year's resolutions was getting the family more involved in the art videos and stuff like that. So to make good on that promise, we have the guest of honor, my oldest daughter, Miss Gracie, right here. You've seen her on the channel before. We did our Star Wars stuff. We did. She's been on. You know who Gracie is. So we had this really cool idea. So as a professional artist and illustrator working with clients, a lot of times I'm going to work with people and make what their initial idea is come to fruition in a way that can be sold and make prints and all that stuff. So we thought what would be a fun idea is if Gracie started flexing some of her art muscles for you guys, but then also we talk about what she made, kind of what the vision was, and see if, as her dad and as a pro artist, I can kind of replicate what she was going for, making my version of what her art is. So, without further ado, this is stuff I haven't seen before. So let's get straight to it. Let's take a look and see if I have the chops and what it takes to recreate what's already, I know, going to be a masterpiece. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Right, so we are here. Miss Gracie has made a drawing, so I know it's of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's all I told him, and I told him that I was going for something, and it turned out to be something else.
That's how it normally goes.
That's all I told him.
You
I didn't tell anything else.
You start with something in your mind, and then as you're making it, it turns into something else. So that's absolutely what happens. But total 100% honesty, I have not seen the picture yet.
I've not shown it to him.
Yeah, so she's working on it. She got a few like how to draw anime and manga books. So a lot kind of going into this. So we'll take a look at the character. We're going to talk about the character. You guys are going to see it as well as soon as I see it. And we're going to try to break this thing down and see what we can cook up. So yeah, so you have the book right here.
I do have the book.
Okay. So anything you want to preface before I see it beforehand? Or?
Okay, so like I said, I did go for something else.
Okay.
And it turned into another thing. And I got this character from one of my how-to manga books that I got.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really it.
All right. So
you can go ahead. It's the first page.
It's the very first page.
Yes.
Here. Okay.
As soon as you open the book, you're going to see it.
Okay. So, and I'll pop it up here as well. So, let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Hey. That's cool.
So, the emotion I went for was confused.
Confused, you're right. Okay.
The emotion it turned out to be, I feel like, was more of worry.
Sure, yeah, I can see kind of the eyebrows. I think that's where a lot of that kind of emotion's coming from, because it's all in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
it is all in the eyes.
As people, we look at each other's eyes to kind of check to see stuff. So that's cool. So her outfit, I know she has the bow in her hair. Mm-hmm. So is this like a what do you call it? Just a...
Yeah, almost like a beanie, I guess.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Like, kind of think of Toph Beifong and like how she has her hair.
Okay.
Like, tied up.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. And then, so we have that. Is she wearing earrings?
No.
Okay.
The drawing inspiration I got was from my manga book, and she had really cool hair. And I tried to recreate that, but now that I'm looking at it, it does kind of look...
Well, because it's in the it's in the placement.
Yeah, I never noticed that before.
No, that's cool though. So I also see kind of a bow right here.
It's almost like kind of like a blouse, like things of the blouse, and then the bow is tying it together.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you made the character, did you have certain like colors in mind? Like their hair would be this color, the bow would be this, or her outfit, or like what kind of energy?
The only colors I really had in mind, because like I thought she would look great in any color.
Yeah, for sure.
I really thought her top bow would be green.
Green bow. Okay.
Like a green bow. I always imagined her with a green bow when I drawed it.
Cool. Okay, and then like the hair.
The hair I could imagine as being like almost like my hair, like a brunette.
Okay.
Kind of color. And then I do also imagine her with like rosy cheeks.
Oh, okay. So kind of a warmer skin complexion.
Yeah, like warmer.
But not like makeup warm.
No.
Okay.
Warm.
Gotcha.
Because I don't see her wearing that much makeup.
Sure.
I feel like it would have kind of like the same rosy cheeks as me.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Kind of.
Sure. Okay, perfect. And I'm trying to think. Did you want to keep the emotion? Did you want to keep the slight?
I think she fits really well with the emotion of worry.
Worry? Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. But again, it's your version, so if you want to make her feel a different emotion because you think that would look better, go for it.
Okay, yeah. So once again, it might be one of those things, kind of how you said, you started one way and it ended up another way. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start with the worry. I'm going to keep it as locked into this as possible. But if it does kind of change a little bit. Now, is there a specific like area she's in? Like, is there a place she's at, or is it just more of a portrait? Like,
it's kind of just more of a portrait.
Okay.
Because the inspiration I got from her is it was just a portrait. Like,
gotcha.
There was a page and it showed like happy, sad, confusion,
right? Okay,
anger, and it just had the portrait of like how the characters would look.
Sure.
In manga. But yeah, I kind of just did it just as a portrait, but go crazy.
Yeah, cool. Okay. No, great. So we'll keep it as a portrait. And what is her age? So is she about your age, or maybe a little older, or?
Maybe a little older, because I look at her and I think the youngest she can be is like maybe 14.
Okay. So like 14, 15.
Yeah, like that range.
Like mid-teenager. Okay.
Yeah, I would imagine her being that age.
Cool. And then, so the bow is green, and you said she's kind of wearing sort of like a beanie.
Yeah, she's kind of wearing, kind of like top beanie.
Gotcha. So is the beanie, is it also all green, or does it have like a pattern, or did you think that far ahead really, or?
Not really.
Okay.
I really just took the inspiration from her head, like tried to copy and paste it.
No, that's great.
But yeah, I do imagine her like wearing a kind of beanie with a bow.
Perfect.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we'll definitely do that. We will keep the hat. We'll keep kind of the blouse. Mm-hmm. And then what's going to be nice is if the hat is more of the green, and then you have the hair more of kind of the auburn sort of like browns, and then the face kind of the nice rosy. Like, that's going to be a good looking deal. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll make this happen, and then we'll dig in. I'm trying to think of anything that catches my eye. Really, I want to try to nail down the emotion in the portrait.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the hardest part.
That will be the hardest part.
You're a great artist, so I think you can do
it. Thank you. So yeah, emotive characters is something that I always like to try to do, but I'm a landscape guy and stuff like that. But seeing stuff like this, and especially in kind of that manga and anime style, I think it's going to be a good challenge, because I can do it, I just don't do it a lot. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to make it kind of this nice hybrid of what I'm thinking is like kind of anime, but a little more of a traditional portrait. Mm-hmm. Almost as if not if the character was like real life, because it won't be that realistic. Mm-hmm. But it's going to have some of those features.
Yeah, so like realistic.
Yeah, so instead of the pure anime nose, it's going to be more anime than like a self-portrait. Mm-hmm. But it'll have a little bit more of a nose bridge and stuff like that. So we'll figure it out. We're going to keep that age right around the 15, 16 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, this looks awesome. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun too. So yeah. So we've all seen it. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to see how well I can bring this to life. And during that, what I'm going to do, I want to essentially, I'm just going to narrate. I'm going to narrate what my thought process was as I'm adding colors, stuff like that. You're going to see the time lapse here momentarily, but then at the end, you got to show me a reveal, right, with this. Mm-hmm. So then whenever I'm done, it will probably take me a night or two to get this one done. But before the end of the weekend, I'm going to show you what my version is on camera.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'm going to get started on this. We'll get that time lapse started, and let's figure out if we have what it takes to bring this masterpiece to life.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So we are using Krita for this one, and there's actually a pretty good reason why. Well, a few reasons why. And the first one being that I really like the I guess digital brushes. Under the categories, whenever you have brushes, you can pick which category. There's paint, there's sketching, stuff like that. I really enjoy the sketching, and I really enjoy the digital. Actually, I like all of the categories. Krita is just awesome. But the main reason I picked Krita is actually this is a program that Gracie uses as well. So as you all know, I wrote a book about Krita, but whenever Gracie approached me, I'm like, hey, I like how you do digital art. Do you think I can try it as well? We had a laptop, and I had my own, my old Huion pen tablet. So yeah, I gave it to her, and we installed Krita, and she's learning how to use it. And she even has like an Android tablet, and has some paint programs on there as well. So yeah, she's getting the whole the full course meal, as it were. But I just really enjoy Krita. It just works. We've talked about it before, and I dig it. So I thought this was a perfect reason, and it's thematic on why we use it. So yeah, we use Krita for this one. Started off with the sketching brushes. As you can see, I'm not a great sketcher. It just is what it is. And the anime style is not something I'm used to doing. So it was fun to kind of look at her piece, and then the piece she was looking at. And, she really nailed the shapes. And whenever you're getting really started taking your art journey seriously, I like to say that shapes are the things that you need to look at. Like forms are one thing, because that's rendering and light and value and stuff. But that's even like 3 or 4 steps later, you know what I mean, than just getting started. And really, using these how to draw books is great, because it's showing you, it's breaking down the idea that everything is made out of very basic shapes, your triangles, your squares, your circles, and then a mix thereof. Maybe like with the hair here, for instance, you have triangles, but they have curves on them. You know what I mean? So you start putting those things together, and yeah, she's doing great, because you can see the placement of the items is relatively close to, what she's looking at, and really getting that dexterity down of being able to put one shape next to the other in the right spatial reasoning. That's one of the hardest hurdles to jump over. I still have problems with it. I mean, hell, you could see it here from the sketch. I still have problems with it. It's something that I feel like you never truly master. You can always improve it, but it does get easier the more you do it. Just like really any dexterity-based skill, the more you do it, the easier it's going to be. So putting these shapes down and trying to get a general sense of the structure was important. And I think whenever I think of painting and I think of drawing, I actually think in 3D. I think almost like my brain is a, 3D program like Maya or Blender, or, setting up a scene in Unreal or Unity or whatever. And I really think that way, because that's how I also make decisions about lighting and structure of the scene, like what's in the background, what's in the foreground. But whenever you're doing a portrait, that doesn't matter as much. Then it becomes the features. Do the features stick out? Do they come towards the viewer, or do they recede backwards? It's a very kind of Caravaggio way of thinking about portraits, because,
things in the back would be dark, things in the front would be light. Kind of the reverse of what a landscape would be. Usually landscapes, everything in the background is lighter than everything in the foreground. Like if something's closer to you, it's darker. But that's kind of a rule that can be broken because, the way you have things set up. But I ended up going with more of the traditional darker up front, highlights and stuff in the back. And that way we could do a rim light. We could get rid of, we can get away with that, which is just fun. That's just fun stuff. It's easy. You can do it. It's kind of mindless. It doesn't take a lot of thought, but it just makes things pop and it's easy. The pros we do it all the time. It is how it is. I'm looking at an Evan Amundsen. I have one of his pictures as my background right now, and I see rim light things everywhere on his stuff too. So it's like, hey, if it's good enough for Evan, it's good enough for me. And really the tricky thing about the anime style, in my opinion, is the smoothness of it. It's very hard, in my opinion, to make a convincing anime style with rough brushwork. I guess the two things don't meld in my mind. Like they don't make sense in my mind together. They could. And I mean, that would be a kind of a cool breakthrough moment is if I found out a way to do a very paint stroke brush heavy version of anime art. I think that'd be really cool. And I think it'd look good. I just don't know how to do it. Like I wouldn't really know how to approach it. Yeah, I don't know, because I think of smooth and very like classical edges as far as like they're very almost perfect, like very line, the line smoothing curves type of thing. And whenever I think of a paintbrush, I don't think about that at all, right? I think about my hard edges, my soft edges, my lost edges. So having these like perfect diamond, compressed, beautiful, line smoothed things. It just doesn't, I don't know what it does to my brain, but it gives me a headache because I'm like, how do I do it? I don't know. But that just means it's a thing I have to learn. And I love the fact that Gracie is able to embrace this stuff early, because even if she doesn't want to do art really at all, except, hey, she saw her dad do it and it's cool. And I want to try to see if I can do it too. She can. I mean, clearly. And so it's a lot of fun to be able to see the world through somebody else's eyes, especially your kids. And that's one of the best things about having kids is you get to be a kid again because you're seeing all these things again. I remember drawing like this, having my Spider-Man comics out on the living room floor and the lined notebook paper, because that was the cheapest way to get it at Walmart. You could get that and a mechanical pencil. And just learn how to draw Spider-Man, that's what this is. So it's always a treat to kind of really go back to your super fundamental roots. Like even before you knew what value meant or, what is line weight, any of this other technicality kind of crap that we get bogged down in as artists and wanting to improve. You just want to draw stuff because it's cool. Like, here's an anime girl that has the same color hair as Gracie that has a cool beanie that has a bow on it. I mean, it doesn't make sense as far as like the bow and the beanie. You can see I kind of struggle with it too. I'm like, how does this work like functionally? But then I had to get rid of that. I'd be like, no, this is the prompt. This is my client gave me this so the bow is going there and this bow is going there and this collar is going here and the hair is doing that. And like, you do it. You just do it and then do it to the best of your ability to bring your expertise and your knowledge and your know-how to make it something kind of above what they anticipated. And I hope that's what the case is. So, after this time-lapse part, we're actually going to go back to video of me and Gracie, which we have not recorded yet. We're going to record this part tonight where I show her the finished product and say, hey, what do you think? She's a sweetheart, so I think she's going to like it. But I won't lie if I didn't say that there were some parts of it that I kept coming back to because I was like, no, that's not right. I need to fit. This needs to look really good for her. This really needs to hit all the marks. I had my notepad up that said, okay, make sure that the bow is green, that there's a little bit of rosy cheeks, that, it's a kind of a dark brunette, like brown hair color that matches Gracie. So I had a few pictures of Gracie up to make sure I could get the sheen on it correct. So yeah, you take it serious. This is a fun little activity to get the family involved, but it's also like, hey, you still got to flex a little bit. You still got to, exercise those muscles and make it happen. But just a lot of fun. I love doing these, and, drawing anything for, Gracie, and whenever Ollie and Evelyn get older, drawing stuff for them, it's going to be a blast because, they just see it and they're like, whoa, look at that. Like, that's amazing. Like, even if it's not good or I have problems with it or whatever, like, none of that matters, right? If your client is happy, you are happy. That's how that works. If you're a professional, if you're an illustrator, you just do the gig, you do it to the best that you can. And then, if the client's happy, they're fulfilled, it matched their vision, that is a success story. So we're hoping that this one is a success story as well. Whenever I went into render, I just started kind of messing around with a little bit of the values, kind of dark and light here and there. Just made it a little more interesting. The eyes threw me for a loop here for sure, because, anime eyes, how do they work? Get the Insane Clown Posse on the phone and tell them, magnets, how do they work? Well, anime eyes, how do they work? Big pupils, big kind of highlight mark. I just put it in there and it looked okay. I'm still iffy about the eyes, even on the finished product. I'm like, I could go and fix that, make it better. But that's just me being a perfectionist, I guess. But yeah, tons of fun. I'm very excited for Gracie to see this because I think it did hit all of the notes that she gave me. And that was really important for me. So yeah, just a fun one, no stress really, but I'm me, so I make it stressful. And it is what it is. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this little time lapse at the making of this one. Did a color overlay, by the way. I work in values, and then I did a color layer with a color blending mode, and then just put the colors in. And then what I could do if I wanted to push this a little bit more, I could merge everything, the color layer and everything, and then go back in with the paintbrush, color pick, resaturate some of the stuff, and then make it a little bit more painterly as far as blending the colors, making it look a little less artificial. Because sometimes whenever you're working in grayscale and you do a color glaze or like a color splash over it, it can look a little off because the brushstrokes of the grayscale part don't match the brushstrokes of the color part. Does that make sense? So to get out of that, to get kind of away from that error or that weird like perception of something's not right here, what you would do is you would then merge everything together, so you get your color and stuff, and then just paint on top of that, like color pick and all that stuff. And that way your brushstrokes are going to more match, the color is going to more match the brushstroke. You know what I mean? So it's going to look more like a natural painting. But the nice thing about the anime style is we're using brushes that don't have distinct brush strokes. So it's really just about the direction of the brush stroke more so than, the intensity or whatever, because that's all kind of the same in these more digital airbrush sort of, hard round, soft round. You don't have to worry about the texture of a brush because there really is none. It's just the brush direction. So as long as you kind of trace over the same way you drew it the first time, you're fine. And it should look pretty natural. So yeah, pretty pleased with it. But like I said, fun one. It is what it is. And I'm hoping that Gracie really, really likes it. So let's go over and see her reaction and see if we actually succeeded in our task of remaking Gracie's masterpiece.
Hello.
Hey, so yeah, we're over here now. So it's been like, I know beforehand we talked about that, hey, during the same weekend we recorded our first part, we would do this part. But now it's actually been like a month, 3 weeks, something like that. So it's been a little bit. Yeah, but a little bit. But we wanted to make good on it, and Gracie and I are both a little under the weather now, but please forgive us for that. But we're going to do the reveal. I have it kind of picture in picture right here so you guys can see whenever she
Like, this black screen is what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I
this
can't
is
see
the
anything.
art monitor, and you guys already know what it looks like because you saw the time lapse. But now we're gonna
haven't
show.
seen it.
Yeah, Gracie has not seen it at all, so we're gonna take a look at it, and then I will do this and this, and what you'll do, you'll take this right here.
Take the mouse. Okay.
Yep, and then tell me when, okay?
Okay.
So you want to do it in 3, 2,
1.
1.
Wow. I
So-
love the hat.
You love the hat. So
I
this
love the hat.
this is the grayscale version, okay? And then I took the notes on what you wanted the colors to be.
Wow. That looks so good.
So that's
I
kind of what we
love
got.
it.
So it's one of those, I might even work a little
it.
more on this, but I wanted to make sure to get the green. I even did a color match of your hair to make sure that it was like right on the money. I did the rosy cheeks right here.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
I
the
love
whole
it.
thing. So that's
I
yeah,
love it.
good deal. So whenever
You copied the eyebrows.
yes,
too,
I did.
for
I copied the eyebrows. I wanted to
reference.
keep that emotion that you had. So like I said, I wanted to keep
I
right on
tried to do
point.
that exact emotion, but it turned into more of like a worry, like you saw
Yeah.
in the reference picture.
So yeah, but we nailed it, and I wanted to get kind of the worry and confusion and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah.
I do want
looks
to.
good.
I want to render it a little bit more, and then but that way, whenever it's all the way done, we're both gonna sign it
Yeah.
because we both made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Super
I
super
enjoyed
cool.
doing
Let's
it.
hide this real quick. Boom. There we go. Okay, so any last thing you want to say to the people about your art project?
I mean, I think it's important, like, if you're starting, like, as one thing, like, confusion, that it's okay for it to change into something, like, to worry or happiness.
Yeah.
Like, some things don't always go according to plan, but don't let that stop you.
That's right. Be adaptable, right? And just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow.
Yeah, that's great advice. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, throughout this whole year, we're going to be doing more stuff with the family. Me and the wife have a plan for a video once we get time to do something. So you've heard a little bit about it, but I think it's going to be a fun one. It's going to kind of mix two worlds together, and we'll see what that looks like. But anyways, thank you very much for all of your artistic expertise and giving me a good prompt, because that was a lot of fun. So so I highly recommend trying the new styles. Make your own version of this. We'd love to see it. And until we see each other again, you guys take care and go make cool art.
Woo!